All my problems started out as a good idea, Grant. All of them.
Every single one.
All right, so I'll set the scene to paint it there. I'm probably about my second year in business at this point. So not quite 2 years deep, but in the second year, we'll call it. So first year in business, lost money, flat out lost money, learned a lot of lessons. Second year, I turned a bit of a corner though and started making money. I found my way to a point, and not a huge amount of money, but a little bit of money. Now, an opportunity came up for me, and I was making websites and doing SEO and running some ads at the time where apps were the new big wave. Right, do you remember when everyone wanted to have a mobile app?
Did I sold them?
You got on the wave too.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, so it got presented to me that it was a good idea to go, well, look, if you've been building websites for clients, go out there and put an offer in and see if anyone wants to get an app done. It's the latest craze, and I will find a developer who can do them. And I'm like, oh, this sounds awesome. So I went to a client and said, hey, have you considered doing an app? They were in the fitness niche. And they said, yes, like we would love to do an app. And the cost of the app was going to be $100,000. Now, for me, I'm looking at this. I'd worked out the margins. It was going to mean that I was going to make about $50,000 of profit.
Bam.
It's going to cost me $50,000 to build it, sell it for $100,000. I was like, my greed gland was going off like you would not believe.
I love greed glands.
And I even distinctly remember the self-talk I had going on in there about like making up for the previous year in business that didn't go as planned. You know, I'm envisioning, I don't know why, but I wanted to buy Bianca a present for putting up with all the things that come with being a business owner. Like I was already fantasizing about the money and what I was going to do with it before I'd even received it.
Yeah.
You know, this was going to show Bianca that, you know, I'm a good business owner and I'm going to make it. You know, it was worth us doing all these things and all of it. Anyway, so I sold it, took a deposit, 50% deposit, by the way. So I actually got $50,000 from this. And then I went to a developer that was going to build this app for me. So I'd been referred to this developer, sounded like a really good play. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, so I start the process with that. And then the developer says to me, hey, if I'm happy to get this done, but you need to pay for it up front. It's really expensive to build these things. If you want to give me the cash to do it, I'll do it. And this might be a little hint on what not to do, just to kind of tee this one up.
All right, okay.
Maybe don't send a developer all $50,000 in the beginning of a project when they haven't delivered anything. Maybe.
Trustworthy Charlie kicks in.
Anyway.
So you've taken $50,000 from a client, which is a 50% deposit, and you've put that entire $50,000 to this developer who hasn't started anything yet.
Yeah, and he's telling me these great stories around how he needs the money to do this, and this is the stages and milestones, and he's got this great documentation of how we're going to approach it. We're having regular meetings every week. Like I'm getting delivered wireframes, and work was getting done, right? However, this is again probably step 2. Do you think I ever checked if he'd built an app before, seen the portfolio or used one of his apps?
Oh, no.
No, because I was referred to this guy. I didn't really check it.
Oh, I'm already feeling your pain.
I'm busy doing these other things. I'm trusting this guy. I'd already done work with him on websites in the past. It had gone well. There's a lot of things that tell me that this is going to be okay. There are signs. It's not complete blind faith, but a little bit. Anyway, we get maybe 8 weeks, 10 weeks into this, and it becomes very apparent to me this app's not going to get done. This guy's got no idea how to build it. And to make matters worse, he's just gone MIA, he's done a runner. And to be clear, all he had to do to really do a runner was just block me on Skype. What am I going to do? It's in another country. So my $50,000 is gone. I have no app, no developer, no idea how to build one of these things. I then have to go back to the client and refund $50,000 because what else am I going to do? I can't deliver the app. They've left this $50,000 thing. So I had to personally take a $50,000 loss. So I've gone from the idea of making $50,000 of profit to losing $50,000. This is $100,000 swing.
Totally.
All right, and all the time I've lost, all the opportunity cost, everything that comes into it. So it's probably more than that if you really do the maths on what I've lost in this situation here. But further to that, that completely wiped out all profit I'd made in the business for that second year to this point.
Totally, because it's $100,000 because you paid out 50 grand to this developer that did a runner, and you paid out 50 grand to refund to the client, and all of your time over that 2-3 month period. So you were down on whatever revenue you're going to make. Call it 50 grand as well, just for perfect roundings. So you lost 50 grand on your time, 50 grand on the refund, 50 grand on the developer, $150,000 hit. I can imagine this is mentally you were just going, fuck, I'm good at this game.
It knocked the wind out of me. I hate to admit this because this was a very, very challenging time for me. But something popped up for me that was really unusual as well, was binge eating. So I started hammering ice cream, watching Breaking Bad on the couch. Like I went dark. Like I took it knocked the wind out of me. I'd never been hit that hard financially before. And because what was worse, it was like I was profitable in business. Like I was kind of riding the momentum of like things were going to be okay. And it just crushed me.
Totally.
It just absolutely crushed me. So that's where I was kind of at on a personal front. And it was like really, really dark. And I kind of laid on a couch for a week. Now, things got so bad, I lost so much confidence. It beat the shit out of my self-worth and belief in myself that I actually started applying for jobs.
So you'd wrap up the whole business and go on.
I was done. I quit. Right. And Bianca was very encouraging and like belief. And she's like, this isn't over. We've still got some savings. Like we can get back up from this. But I'd lost so much belief in myself that I would say things like, you don't understand how hard this is.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're talking about. We'll just lose more money.
Had no faith in your ability.
None.
Yeah.
Man, absolutely none. Dark place. All right. So this is what got me up, right? This is the fascinating thing. So after a week of sitting on the couch and doing this, I was like, I'm going to go get a job. I started reaching out to other agencies and had gone, hey, look, I've had a crack at running my own agency. I have decided I don't want to do that. I'm not the best business owner. I would love to come and get a job somewhere. And I go, I'll sweeten the deal. I've got some retainers here that are still coming in. I'll give you the retainers. You can take over managing them. By the way, if you ever want to get a job, very great way. It's like, I'm coming with 5 clients for you to take this over.
Let's go.
Yeah, so I won't name the agency because they may still be going, but I ended up getting a phone interview request with one of them. They're like, cool, let's have a call and see where you're at. And if this is worth it, we'll come to be. And the thing that saved me is I had this interview with them and I realized after 30 minutes on the phone that these guys, terrible business owners.
I had no idea.
I could not. There was something in me that lit up and I'm like, these guys are idiots.
So you're happy to, your belief in yourself was propped up by the realization that the other people are idiots.
Yeah, I hands down was much better at running ads than them. Wasn't even close. Yet here they were with this successful agency and I wasn't. But because I was technically so much stronger than them, I was like, if these two idiots can pull off a successful agency, I can. And that's what got me up. So from there, that was kind of the moment that shifted it, was the outside perspective for me that really changes it.
Yeah.
And then I was able to, the story ends well here. It's like, I get up from that, get back on the horse, make a financial recovery in a really big way across the year through seeking mentorship and help from other people on how to actually run an agency better. And then things go well. But that was the whole kind of story and saga of like, that was the financial hit. Can I talk about the process I use?
I was going to say, I was going to align it to see how well it aligned. Yeah, go. Walk me through the process.
So since then, like that was the first big one of the financial hits, but others came up along the way. And I realized that you've got to have a method of getting up when you take a hit. So I'll take you through my process on this. So the first one for me, and this is very personal to me, is I need time to heal. Me trying to act when there is no belief in myself, when I'm in that smashing connoisseurs, cookies and cream, ice cream while watching Breaking Bad space. You know what I'm talking about.
Is that the time to heal space?
I can't look at a tub of connoisseurs, cookies and cream without remembering it.
That's why we didn't get them on the weekend away.
I
realised
can
that.
still eat it since. I'm not like, it's not like the alcohol you had a bad time with that you can't drink again.
Tequila. Yeah.
Jim Beam. But anyway, the point being is like it's a memory. It's like when you hear a song that was a certain part of your life, you get a flashback.
Yeah.
So I look at that and go, I will always reference that. I will always reference that in that way. And dude, I took it to the extreme, just so we know. It wasn't just the tub of cookies and cream. I am dumping blocks of Kit Kat in that. And
Just crushing it up and just jammed.
if it's cookies and cream, surely you would add more cookies to it and things like that. And the wafers work really well. Cookies go soggy, where you like the wafer of the Kit Kat.
Just send an email to Connoisseur saying you need to put more cookies into your cookies and cream ice cream. This is outrageous.
Man, I won't go there.
Deep.
But
All right, so
point
time to
being is,
heal.
yeah, I need a time to heal. So
Yeah.
for me, when I take a financial hit, trying to act too early and get up too early, like when you've been through that type of thing, hasn't been advantageous because my mind isn't right.
Yeah.
If I am in this hopeless stage and I can't see a future of better, it's like I can't move through that. So then after that, and I get through my own bullshit, and that is an internal game for me. No one can help me in that. I have to be willing to get over my own bullshit. And like in future times when I have taken financial hits, it's very evident in that as well. So the internal game starts for me first. Really does. The part where I know I'm ready is that planning comes up for me naturally. So in this case, when I talk about the first one, it's like, all right, I'm going to get a job. Like and so I'm ready to take some action is my next thing from here. What comes after that is assessing the damage. So I suppose, had a better frame around it. I really like the idea of you're looking where you're really at. I thought was really great in your ways from here. But I'm more like, I've been in a car crash. What needs to be fixed on this car?
Yeah.
Like I'm assessing the damage so I can start to form a plan. Next part of that, though, is for planning, and this is where I think our processes kind of align really strongly here. I get people involved at the planning stage. I want other people to be involved in the plan and help me be accountable to that plan so I can borrow some of that confidence. All right, I want to get that confidence back. I'm going to be doubting myself at this point, and I want to make sure that I can lean into clever people who have done the thing, right? Key frame there. I want to lean into people that have been in situations like this, and I want to model a plan that's been effective for them because I need that. I need to know that, hey, this has worked for someone else that can work for me.
Totally.
I don't want to, oh, this might work for you idea, despite me having no idea how to do it type stuff.
Here's my opinion.
Yeah, see, I find for myself when I'm in that zone, right, I'm looking for certainty. And the best form of certainty I can get is from this worked from someone else. This isn't a guess. Has worked, that proven process, right? So it becomes a really important part. And then the next part of it is tracking progress. So if I've got a plan, I've got to create something to track to measure that it is working so that I can get that momentum and self-belief back up. And then once I've conquered that, I love what you put in earlier and I do as well. I'll go back and actually assess bigger goals in my life. Because maybe I had a goal, and let's just pretend, and I kind of did in the agency in this story, an example. Let's say my goal was to make 10 grand a month of profit at this point, right? When you've taken that financial hit, your belief and ability to do that, that goal dies. I'm not a 10 grand a month business owner. I'm a 5 grand a month business owner when I'm in that state where it's like after I've recovered from the financial hit, I can come back to that board and reignite the 10 grand a month goal again. So I had to be willing to put down other bigger goals while I get out of this hole I'm in. That hole isn't a place to go, you can be a billionaire. It's not the time for the big dreaming stuff. The goal needs to change to get out of this hole, recover from this hit, and then come back to goal setting or come back to setting your North Star or resetting your plan from there after you've dealt with whatever you dealt with from there. Just park it to the side was very helpful for me.
The way that I think about that from a financial hit perspective is it's almost like there's a line and it starts at -10, middle is 0, and then the far end is 10. And so I'm when we're running as business owners, you're trying to go from the 6 to the 7. I'm making money and I just want to make a little bit more or do a little bit better of a thing in business. And so that's the next goal. Second, you take a serious financial hit. Dude, the way I see it is I've gone from this 5, 6 to a -8.
Jeez,
So
I'm a -11.
Yeah. And so then my objective is how do I go from the -11 to just like a -5 and then to 0 and then go from that 0 to a 1 again and then to a 2 again. Now, what I've found is like I will actually do that process quicker than I did previously because I've already blazed that trail. Right? It's almost like-
Completely. The first time you go through it is the longest because it's uncharted territory where you almost like to this point now, it's like, I think I lost some money last week, and even right now I'm sitting here trying to remember what it was. It's like the hits aren't the same. You're just like, all right, move on.
There was the stories. Like, I lost a heap of money in crypto. I'm like, but it's not doesn't tell the same story. Like I didn't feel the same pain. It didn't take me as long to get back on the horse. Like it was like I never fell off the horse. And so those financial hits are really, in my mind, just relevant of going, well, where are you on that scale? Right. And then how fast can you get back? And it's not a pressure thing. It could take you 5 years, right? Like just how quick can you get back on it?
I can't say it is a pressure thing. You don't want to stay down for 5 years.
No, you don't.
And some people do. You want to find tools and strategies to get back on the horse. Like you really do. You got to be able to get back up after taking these hits. You really do.
Hey, fellow business owner. If this topic and value-packed short video has resonated with you at all, and you want to dive deeper into creating wealth inside and outside your business, check out the full episode by clicking the link on your screen or in the description right now.